West Papua's pro-independence movement was celebrated by activists around the world last week with the raising of the Morning Star flag. December 1st marks the day the Morning Star, West Papua's independence flag, was first hoisted in 1961. Whina Whanua attended a flag-raising event in Auckland where he spoke to activists.
A crowd of just over 40 people gathered at the flag-raising event held at the West Haven waterfront in Auckland. It was a somber occasion, with speakers delivering speeches on the oppressive history endured by Indigenous West Papuans. Speakers also reminded the crowd about widespread reports of humanitarian abuses committed by Indonesian authorities. New Zealand opposition and Green Party MP Golriz Garaman was the only political figure at the events. Garaman says action is needed from the New Zealand government.
We know that the violence that West Papuans have to endure is getting increasingly worse. Indonesia takes products and timber from West Papua and sells it on the world stage. What I would like to see this new government do is to say we will divest from buying goods and timber in particular, to use every one of our forums, whether it's United Nations Forum, whether it's direct trade talks with Indonesia, to raise the issue of the rights of West Papuans.
According to the UN Human Rights Council, the humanitarian situation in West Papua has deteriorated, with reports of mass displacement and torture. Some reports estimate the forced displacement of up to 60,000 native West Papuans. Garaman says New Zealand's foreign policy needs to prioritize its more vulnerable Pacific neighbours.
We keep talking about the influence of China, we keep talking about the United States coming here and how we can support our bigger superpower allies. Well, actually it needs to be about lifting the voices of the people of the Pacific who are vulnerable right now, like West Papuans.
On December 1st, 1961, native West Papuan pro-independence leaders raised the Morning Star flag in anticipation that independence would be granted by the Netherlands. The region had been a colony of the Netherlands before it fell under Indonesian rule in 1963. Since then, the independence movement has been heavily suppressed with intimidation, arbitrary arrests, torture, and executions. Prominent activist Mare Leadbearer says the annual flag-raising event was a show of solidarity.
We are commemorating an event in 1961 when the West Papuans were free to raise their flag and they were on a path towards decolonisation and independence like other Pacific nations at that time. But sadly, Indonesia had other plans and the West, including New Zealand, colluded with those plans. We are keeping the faith. We'll never let our government forget.
Another speaker at the event was New Zealand Methodist President Terito Peru. She recently attended the Pacific Conference of Churches gathering in New Caledonia, where she said West Papua representatives were present. Last year, the organization called for the boycott of all Indonesian products until Jakarta allowed a visit to the region by the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. Peru said West Papuan church leader Reverend Socrates Yeoman told fellow delegates that his native Papuans continue to endure oppression.
The stories he spoke, but he also, and I think this is the thing that made more of an impact, the footage which was shared and the realities that words probably actually can't do any justice to when you see it, because it's all captured, the truths that are really uncomfortable.
In Indonesia, raising the Morning Star flag is banned unless it's raised alongside the Indonesian flag at a lower height. In September last year, 7 people were arrested and jailed in West Papua for raising the flag. Goriz Garaman says the event is an act of self-expression, a right denied by the Indonesian government.
It is absolutely criminalised for West Papuans to express any form of independence or self-determination there. What we're saying is that we see you and we know that your rights are being violently breached. We know that Indonesia is responsible and we stand with you, the people of West Papua. It is incredibly important that we do this every year.
An armed conflict between separatists of the West Papua Liberation Army and the Indonesian military has escalated following the kidnapping of Kiwi pilot Philip Mertens in February this year.